The son of Hong has been making Guzheng for more than 4 decades. So far as I'm aware, we are the last people still making this by hand. These Guzheng are of quite different make from what's available on the market. In terms of price, they're certainly towards the higher end of the market. But in terms of quality, because of this unique characteristic of the way we make this Guzheng, they are actually highly in demand. Some of our models, we can only make 10 a year, so there is a waiting period of more than 6 months. That's a minimum waiting period. With mass-produced Guzheng, you can take a very thin piece of timber and then glue to the rest of the body. And this process actually does not require much human intervention, so that can be done on mass scale. The downside of this is, however, there's very little structural modification you can make because of the material used. The most you can do really is to substitute one material for another. Essentially, there isn't much you can do about the design of the sounding board, except perhaps design different bracing underneath, but that hasn't been done so far as I'm aware. With handcraft Guzheng, on the other hand, we can take a very thick chunk of timber, and because of thickness, we can actually carve out the inside to whatever design we prefer. And this gives us a lot of freedom in being inventive, trying to come up with different design every year. The paradox is precisely because we use a very thick timber to make a Guzheng, it actually allows us to make very thin, super slim Guzheng. That's only 1/3 of the thickness of the average Guzheng on the market. We don't actually have to make a Guzheng into a box like guitar, violin, with a bridge underneath to support the thin top. We just make this into one piece and carve out the inside. But beyond that, we actually consult and research into the ancient texts, not only in making Guzheng, but also in the way they used to make Guzheng and other instruments. Not only the mechanical design of it, but also the material and the chemicals, mostly nature stuff in those days, that were utilized. And we discovered that even both of these variables allow us to produce and continue to produce different sound quality, Guzheng with different tones every year. So in the last 4 decades, we have actually invented a lot of new designs for Guzheng. In one sense, it is we are traditionalists, because we make this the old way. Before machineries were invented, before mass production was possible, Guzheng had to be made this way, done by hand, because of course they didn't have an option. But with the emergence of machineries and mass production and the economy of scale, factories can make cheaper Guzheng at a much lower cost now. But we discovered that professional musicians still want high quality and they're willing to pay for high quality Guzheng, and that has helped to keep us in the market. In spite of our price tags for this Guzheng, we continue to do well because it's a tradition worth preserving.